Hi, I'm Mike Gannon from the Pond Hunter video series. In the fall of 2012, Superstorm Sandy hit the northeastern United States. It was a storm of epic proportions, a once-in-a-lifetime event that my home state of New Jersey happened to be the epicenter of. Millions of people were without power. Hundreds of thousands lost their homes, their cars, and all their belongings. And there was an awful lot of collateral damage as well, with trees down everywhere, landscapes destroyed, all sorts of things like that. Which brings us to this project. We're doing a pond restoration project from Superstorm Sandy. This pond had gotten completely destroyed. You can actually see over my shoulder a large tree trunk of the remaining tree that was once covering this entire area. So what we're going to do is rip this out and get everything restored here and tweak it a little bit in the design and see if we can bring some of our new design concepts to it as well. So stick around and watch the whole process, and thanks for watching. So this is the area we're going to be focusing on. Just 2 weeks ago, this was completely covered. You couldn't even see it. There was a huge tree laying across it, and some pretty substantial damage was done to it. So we're going to be pulling it apart and doing the restoration and repair on this, and maybe tweaking it just a little bit in the design as well. We're going to start with the basics of draining this down and cleaning it out, and then we can start with the dismantling of the pond and get our new design going. Well, there were some survivors of this pond, like this resilient bullfrog who, in this cold weather, he's wondering what the heck's going on, but we'll get him back into the water and make sure he's well taken care of and return to his new deluxe accommodations. I think, considering the size and caliper of this tree, we're pretty lucky that the only damage done from this tree was to that pond. This is a real massive tree that is capable of probably taking out a home. Okay, so you can see we got the pond completely dismantled. Everything's taken out, rock work, old filters, the whole deal. And I've marked out how we're going to expand this out. We're going to go a little bit bigger all the way around in the pond and actually go a little bit deeper too. As long as we have everything apart, why not get that extra depth, that extra volume in here for an overall bigger pond? So now that everything's out, next thing to go after we dig this a little bit is going to be our underlayment going in, our liner, and we'll be rocking this before you know it. So stick around. Okay, so the dig out is underway. This is getting bigger as we speak. Okay, so we have our skimmer box installed, all our levels are set, our excavation is all taken care of. You can see we dug this out pretty well. We have 3 levels now instead of the 2 that were previously there, which gives it a little more depth, a bigger presentation, and we're able to push this out a lot. We got probably double at least the volume in here than we had before. Our waterfall's all dug out, ready to go. We need our underlayment, and we're going to repurpose the old one. It's in perfectly good condition. We're going to use that, and we're also going to repurpose the old liner and use that as underlayment as well as overlayment for some of those bigger stones to protect it from the liner. So you can see we cleaned up the old underlayment. We're getting it in place right now. We'll be able to use some of the old liner as well. So here's some of the materials we brought in to finish this up. We're using thick cut Pennsylvania wall stone to match what was already previously existing. We're just adding to it. And we also need to add a few more boulders, given that we've expanded the size of the interior of the pond also. And here's the gravel. When the gravel comes in, it usually comes in pretty dirty. You can see that this has a pretty heavy covering of dust or mud or whatever the case, but this is nothing that a shovel and a hose can't take care of. So you can see here the gravel cleans up really nicely. It's got great shape, great colors. This is my standard go-to gravel. It's Delaware blend, 3/4 inch grain. It's got a great look to it. I like it not just for its aesthetic value and beautification of the pond, but for its filtration purposes as well, especially as a pond builder. I like that extra filtration. You can see we have our liner laid out here. We cut 2 pieces. One we're going to be using for the pond, and the other one is going into the waterfall area. 45 mil APDM. Industry standard, great stuff. Okay, we got our rock work moving along, so we're working on the skimmer box 2, which also is coming along very nicely. The faceplate is getting tightened right now, and We got to get our drain pipe put in, and we're moving along nicely here. Let's take a look at our fish caves. The fish caves are really nice additions to have to the pond. It gives the fish a place to go if they feel threatened by a predator or to get out of summer blazing sun. We have the larger one here, and then we also put in a little smaller one on the other side of the pond as well. So it's going to be mostly goldfish in here. These are pretty spacious accommodations for goldfish, and koi can fit in there as well. So we're doing a little rinsing, and you can see we have our waterfall liner installed now, and I've marked out some of the areas that I want for the design for big pieces, flat pieces, and we're going to get ready to rock this in now. Okay, so while the waterfall is getting worked on, let's talk about the lighting, because we're putting in a new lighting system in here. It's going to be submersible LED lighting. It's really nice stuff. We're going to be using a combination of this type of fixture. This is a 3-watt completely submersible LED light. Very nice stuff, right? Lasts a long time, has great color quality, and is really bright too, and only 3 watts. And these new lighting systems come with bipin connectors. It's a great way to connect your lighting instead of having to cut and splice like we used to. These guys right here, that's all you do. You just connect them into each other, and it's awesome. It's really quick. It's a nice secure connection as well. So again, we're using a combination of our 3-watt, and then we're also using what are called waterfall pad lights. These are smaller 1-watt lights that are going, there you go. Those are going to go underneath the water where it kind of cascades down on those smaller drops. So these are great for lighting those up. And again, just the bipin connection on it. So really easy stuff, so they can enjoy their pond any time of the day. You should always have lighting on your pond. Okay, so our lighting is high efficiency, but that's not the only thing. We're using a high efficiency pump as well. This is pretty cool. It's an adjustable flow pump. It can go from 4,000 to 8,000 gallons per hour. Horizontal design, fairly lightweight, really reliable pump, and high efficiency. So it costs a lot less to run than some of the other pumps there on the market. So I really like these a lot. These are pretty cool, and hey, remote control, very fancy. And it's a fancy pond. We also have an ion system that we're hooking up. It was on the previous pond. It was a first generation ion, and the owners loved it. So we're installing a new one, and they basically work with these probes, which get replaced about once a year. They wear out, at least on this particular pond, at that rate, and other ponds that we work on, they wear out at that rate as well. So we have the ion going in, our high efficiency pump, our high efficiency lighting. We're moving along here. Okay, so cleanup is underway. That's part of the fun too. Our skimmer box is installed. Everything's looking good. The interior is done. Our clean out pump is slowly pumping away there, and our waterfall now is filled in and complete. We still have to rinse this down, so we're not ready to fill the pond yet. But once we get this all cleaned out, this waterfall will be flowing with anywhere from 4,000 to 8,000 gallons per hour. I can't wait to see this thing running. Okay, well, the restoration is complete and just in time. We got some nasty weather rolling in here. We got rain on the way. So I'm gonna wrap up here at the job site and just start filling it up in the upper waterfall here and let that fill up overnight. And we'll check back tomorrow and go over the finished project. So stay tuned, we'll get this done. Hasta mañana. Okay, we're back to the Superstorm Sandy restoration project. We got a little chased away by the weather yesterday, so we didn't get to wrap up. But today, I tell you what, it's not all that much better. It's dark, it's snowy, it's really cold, and it's December 21st, 2012. So if you're watching this, the Mayans were wrong. We're all still here. So this was a great project. Everything came out real nice, and everything's up and running now. You can see we have our 3-tier waterfall behind me. New filtration system, submersible lighting, all of its high efficiency equipment as well. So I'm really glad we got this taken care of. And in the big picture, a pond restoration is a pretty trivial thing compared to what many people went through with this storm recently. But it's a little part of making things normal again for people, and I'm glad to be able to contribute to it in that way. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this whole presentation, and we'll be seeing you next time in the Pond Hunter as well, hopefully in a lot nicer weather conditions. So stay tuned and keep watching. Thanks a lot.